A one-time check for the more than 64 million Social Security beneficiaries would come with a price tag of nearly $90 billion. Now, there are other measures that can help senior citizens as well. Some Democratic representatives have reintroduced a bill called the Social Security 2100 Act. If this were to pass, Social Security benefits would get a boost and implement a new indexing system to more accurately account for inflation. The proposal would also raise thresholds above which recipients' income including Social Security is taxed. According to Representative John Larson, the bill improves the annual COLA formula to better reflect the cost incurred by seniors through adopting a CPIE formula. He said in a statement the provision will help seniors who spend a greater portion of their income on healthcare and other necessities. Improved inflation protection will especially help older retirees and widows who are more likely to rely on Social Security benefits as they age. I believe it's a good decision for President Biden to send out more stimulus checks this year. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments down below. So there are new changes from the federal government, everybody, and it's just been passed. The IRS has announced that many Americans will have to pay back the $1,400 third stimulus check that they received last year. And that is some crazy news, everybody. Given the speed with which the IRS managed to get stimulus payments into people's bank accounts over the past 2 years, it should come as no surprise that some mistakes were made. It may have been as simple as a stimulus payment being sent to someone who earned too much money to be eligible. Whatever issue may be, you might receive a notice from the IRS if you fall into one of the following categories. So everybody, each of the 3 stimulus checks carried a strict income threshold. Once a person hit that threshold, their stimulus payment was phased out. Out of the millions of stimulus checks sent in 2020 and 2021, it was found that the checks were distributed to people whose income exceeded eligibility. So if you earned too much money to qualify for a stimulus check last year, you may have to repay back some stimulus money. Also, if you lived in the United States for years, paid income taxes, but are not a citizen, it's possible the IRS will discover the mistake and request a refund. So many checks have been sent, it's possible that a percentage of individuals received more than one payment for the same round. If you were eligible for the stimulus funds, but received more than one check during the first, second, or third round, it's important to note that the IRS may ask you to return these extra funds. But everybody, don't worry if you're unsure if you need to pay back the IRS. If the IRS spots a problem, they will just send you a letter. And according to the IRS, everybody, the average tax refund is noticeably higher this year. Now, of the 53 million individual tax returns that the IRS processed through March 5th, it issued refunds for almost 38 million. And now the average size of the refund this year is around $3,400. That's a 13.7% increase from the average $3,000 or $2,990 refund issued at the same point last year. But everybody, it's important to remind the numbers may not predict where refund amounts may end up. By early 2021 of December, the average refund was around $2,800. The IRS is now expecting more than 160 million individual tax returns this year. That means the tax agency has processed around 1/3 of all the returns and is expecting the 2022 filing season to collect previous federal stimulus checks. And according to Yahoo News, money has been paid out to those within that category who earned less than $26,000 in 2020. The program is being expanded in 2022.
I was just about to walk away here.
Carlos.
Yes. With that, it is my distinct honor to introduce Senator Schumer, who was a champion in making sure that we preserve the child tax credit in the Senate. It is not an easy fight, and we so deeply appreciate you being able to take this.
Also, Indiana residents may qualify for extra cash in 2022, and Marco reported that the Indiana state government posted a higher surplus last year, and the government wants to provide a tax refund worth about $125. And the good news for Florida school teachers this year, according to Yahoo News, they may receive a stimulus payment this year of up to $1,000. According to Ron DeSantis, approximately 177,000 teachers are set to receive this payment. So folks, do you support the fourth stimulus check from President Biden? Tell me in the comments below.
Looked like they really could and did play ball, and the other one looks like he could bomb you. And it's a tough group, but a good group. Look, I want to thank you and your staffs for welcoming us to town. It's a one-stop shop connection for people in this county to the services and benefits they need, and that's important.
Lawmakers have approved the new stimulus plan. $500 stimulus checks will begin going out to people who qualify for this. The state's Executive Office of Administration and Finance just announced that it will begin sending the payments as part of a $4 billion stimulus relief plan. The effort is going to help 500,000 workers who fell below the state's poverty line. According to the Biden administration, residents will be eligible for the payments if their income in 2020 was at least $12,750, and if their total income put them 300% below the poverty line. Baker said in a statement, "I was pleased to sign the Crisis Essential Employee Premium Pay Program into law, and our administration has worked quickly to design the parameters of the program." Additionally, a resident who files with a spouse and two dependents or with no spouse and three dependents could be eligible. An administration official told NBC News that the eligibility requirements were limited to income thresholds because it was faster. So, in the Senior Citizens League, one of the largest nonpartisan senior citizen advocacy groups, currently has a petition to gain more support and attention for an emergency $1,400 stimulus check to cope with rising inflation. Among the arguments in the petition is that the COLA increases are not suitable enough for seniors living on a fixed income. The petition adds in 2021, Social Security benefits increased by just 1.3%, raising the average benefit by only $20 a month.
Our doctor to stitch you up. But if you're admitted due to an incidence of violence, a social worker is called, a psychiatrist is called, and they go right into that emergency room to do psychological and social interventions at the hospital. And so we started with this experiment, and we said, folks at Jacoby said, just give us a couple people, and right now, usually what happens is that the nexus of response to that happens from the jail. Someone gets arrested, that's when all the people are called, etc. They said, just give us a couple of people who we want to see something. And they said, what happened if we made that response nexus the hospital and treat violence as a public health issue? And what we found is that when we did that, doctors and public health officials started studying the data. And they said, look what happens. A huge proportion of people who are referred in incidents of violence are suffering and struggling from severe mental health issues. A lot of them are struggling with their housing status. And a very large degree of them are young men, about teenagers to about 25 or 27. That gives us a lot more clarity in terms of what we can hone in on and target. And so when we call on social workers, what we've also done is hired out mentors, so people who have made mistakes in their past. Perhaps they spent time in Rikers, but they've turned their life around. No one knows better how to turn their life around than someone who's been there. They get paid as experts in this to mentor these young men, young women, young people in general, to help them transition out of that life. And what we have found at Jacoby Medical Center is that it has decreased for